he becomes such a dill hole.
Welcome to Zero Hit Points. Oh my gosh.
Thanks.
How long has it been? It's May 15th right now. Who knows about later? I'm Ryan Miller.
Can never tell.
Here to talk to you about dill holes. Matt Amber.
Yeah.
Gah.
Atreus is a dill hole. He becomes one in the God of War video game.
I did it bad. It's too, yeah. I led with the showstopper.
It's definitely not that.
Give me like 5 minutes, no games. It's been 2 weeks. Supposedly we've done stuff interesting, been people, fascinating.
I don't think that's...
Went places.
None of that sounds familiar to me.
Nauseating.
Very, very little of it sounds familiar
neither.
to me. I had a terrible night last Thursday where I was working from... I started working again, so I did my normal day shift, and I got up early for that. And then I had like an hour of a nap, and then I was up doing things all day, and then I had to do a change that night, and I worked from 7 until 9:30 the next morning, and the thing that I was doing didn't work. So we had to roll it all back. I hate everything about myself, my life, my job, all of it, and I crave death on a daily basis.
And that was just like in the public notes for whatever you did. The only thing that didn't get rolled back, you could say.
Yeah. My life, yeah, it hasn't rolled back yet, but look, anything's possible in the future.
But how are you?
Oh, no, I'm just, I'm medicated. I'm in therapy.
All right. Okay.
Feeling great.
Yeah, most of us just say fine.
Oh.
And that's all kind of implied.
Okay.
But yeah.
Let's try it again.
Okay. But how are you?
Yeah, I'm in therapy, man. It's not going great. Did I do it wrong again?
I don't know. Am I doing it wrong? This reminds me of the conversation. Remember when Michael on Arrested Development got in a relationship with Heather Graham, and they just keep saying stuff, like he keeps saying real stuff, and she keeps thinking he's joking, and that goes back and forth. So like he talks about how his wife died or something, and she just starts laughing. He's like, no, it was.
Well, okay.
I feel like that's us.
Yeah. Well, how are you then?
Fine.
Okay. See, implied. No, but you are a man of few words, whereas I'm a man who has diarrhea of the mouth at like all times.
Hey, it's just been so long. I wanted to make sure everything was at a steady
decline
baseline.
Oh, yeah, it is a steady baseline decline. Yes.
I didn't really do much else either. We sent each other dueling text messages when we were doing stuff. Oh, you went to Texas Frightmare, but that's other show, isn't it?
It is other show.
Okay. I was at the Descendants while you were doing that, and that's kind of no show, so I guess
you can show it here.
Fun.
You're wearing a show shirt.
No, it wasn't much. Just, in fact, I feel like we've already talked about a Descendants show on this podcast before.
That they're really good?
It was good. They're good. In fact, it was better than the last one I went to. So go back, listen to the show where I talked about last one.
Okay.
Better than that.
So just imagine it's a more glowing review. Got it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We will not go back and figure out which episode that is. But if you want to, as a viewer, it's probably in the description.
It is.
This show is starting off energy-less. There is nothing right now, is there?
No.
It's a little slow. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I'm pumping.
Remember when I talked about dill holes and you were like, yeah, dill holes.
Yo, yeah. We'll get to those. Dill holes. Hey, let's talk about video games.
That's not even our first game we're going to talk about.
Let's talk about video games, because that's what this show is about. It's about video games.
It is still about that. Oh, that thing. This is the Zero Hit Points podcast where we talk about video games. The ones we like, the ones we don't. In fact, there's going to be a lot of mostly things we have no idea about this show, given
it's the best
news cycle.
The best shows we have are the ones where we can only speak theoretically.
We can only imagine.
Facts don't exist in this dojo.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
But before that, the things that we can imagine.
The things that we can imagine, we played a full galleon of Sea of Thieves.
We did.
We did.
Gallon of milk.
The wife was able to finally sit down and after a little bit of haranguing with the game share nonsense, we got it figured out and she got to play for a little bit and we had you and Mertz. Good stuff. I had a lot of fun. It was cool. She was learning the game and she picked up most of it pretty quickly and
she did.
And you know, and it was fun having 4 people on a galleon. Like that was crazy. That was weird. Like because you and I have only we're sloops. We're dirty, filthy sloops.
Yeah, we've only slooped before.
Yeah,
if you think about
Sloop
it.
John B. We're Beach Boys fans of the highest caliber. That's why Ryan gave me that crazy weird look of I have no idea what you're referring to when you say Sloop
I don't get the reference, but
it's the name of the song.
Oh, Sloop?
Yeah, Sloop John B.
The Beach Boys song? Even?
Sloop John B. It's one of their best songs.
Huh.
Off of Pet Sounds, the best Beach Boys album of all time.
I don't know. I bet I would know the song, right? I'm just not good at song titles.
You would definitely know. If you've heard Pet Sounds for one, you'd know it. But you will almost certainly have heard it because it is one of those. It's got a line in it that kind of everybody remembers.
Okay, I want to take it slow down in Kokomo.
Yep. Now we're talking. That's Sloop John B.
I knew I would know it. Yeah. I'm not great at the titles.
It was fun. I enjoy the game. We did end up getting we got to beat down towards the end there by a team that was a group of pirates that were spawn camping the ship. They sat on the ship and knew exactly where everybody would spawn, and they were just gunning us down the minute we would spawn.
You're being kind. I forced you into a Ryan game of sorts, a more Ryan sided game.
Hey, we were all on the cannons, man. We were all firing, and they just rammed us, and we had nothing. There was nothing we could do because we were at a weird thing, and all 4 of us were on the cannons. Nobody was really guiding the ship, and they just crashed into us, boarded us, and then beat the ever-loving piss out of us.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously knew what they were doing. Also, I feel like they knew. Like they didn't care about their ship because we saw their ship. We started hitting it, and there might have was it a full ship? Was there 4 people? There was at least 3.
I don't know. All I know is I kept getting killed before I could see all of them. So
yeah, that did happen. But they didn't. We were concentrating on like sinking their ship, and they were like, "We don't care. We're gonna ram you and then be on your ship, killing you forever."
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel like they knew. They had probably played the game before. Maybe I don't know.
That could be it. They might have some experience. They might be experienced pirates. We were novice pirates, all of us.
Yeah, not too well versed in the.
Not knowing that the blunderbuss is the only gun apparently, because every other gun seems to do absolutely nothing.
I always get the sniper because I think it would be fun to snipe people on their ship from far away.
Well, you can, but it just like,
I can't.
Once you do it, it's like you gotta run back downstairs and swap it out in the armory that's on the ship.
Yeah. I think I'm done with the sniper for now. Blunderbuss, and I did do 2 guns. Might have been my other mistake. I got rid of my sword altogether.
I killed one guy with a sword.
Yeah, I think I might.
I had a sword also.
I was killed with a sword.
Yeah.
Couple times.
You got stabbed. I got shot in the face a lot with blunderbusses.
Also.
Yeah. It's fun though. I enjoyed that. I want to continue playing that casually the way we have been playing it because I think it's just kind of a nice little palate cleanser of a fun, goofy game.
Sure.
Like, it's fun.
How did Beth, it seemed like she was not 100%. She might have had some issues. Was that?
I think, yeah. I mean, I think she enjoyed it. One of the things that she did bring up is the concern that she doesn't game the way we game. She's not there all the time. She doesn't automatically pick things up. So, she was concerned that it was dragging us down, and it wasn't at all. It was,
absolutely not.
No. Yeah, 100% not at all.
It was buoying us up. If anything,
yeah. I think if she plays a little bit more, I think she'll get a little more into it. I think she enjoyed it. She seemed like she had some fun. And then
we're going to formulate a wife time here. I'm pretty sure I can get Candy to do it.
Wife time television for victims.
Yes. What?
Nothing.
Oh,
I don't know.
No.
We just created the second worst channel of all time.
Next to
I was gonna go with Fox News, but
but that's not. Is that a channel?
That's a whole channel.
Its own whole channel.
Yeah,
that's gross, dude.
It's bad.
Get that out of here.
Speaking of gross, I will tell you something that's gross. I've been playing. The only other game I've been playing is the Dill Hole game. I've been playing God of War. I have not. I have actually. Sea of Thieves was the first game I had touched since for 2 weeks now, because I've just been playing God of War. I've been like trying to get through the story.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't gotten to spend as much like sit down time. Like I haven't gotten to spend like hours upon hours in one sitting to play it. It's been a lot of like an hour here, an hour there, and. Not trying to get sidetracked, but there are moments where it's like, oh, I see a thing, or I remember I saw a thing, and now I understand how it works. I have the ability to, like, I can move the wind now so that I can open up doors and all these things. So there's been a little bit of sidetracking with some of the side quest thingies, but I've been focusing on the story. I've been trying to as much as you can.
Right.
And so a whole bunch of the beginning of the story, like, you know, we've talked about the main premise being Kratos and Atreus' son are taking his mother's and wives
Kratos
ashes.
and his son Atreus.
Yes.
Kratos. Babies having babies.
And his son Atreus.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe, hopefully I misheard that.
I don't know. What did you think you heard?
I thought you said Atreus' son,
No.
but maybe you said Atreus his son.
Yes. Kratos and his son Atreus.
Okay.
Let's go with that. They're taking mom's ashes to the tallest peak, and they think it's in Midgard. They find out it's not. It's in Jotunheim. That's not Jotunheim. It's in some Heim. You know, a Norse Heim, a Heim, a Corey Heim.
Heim.
Could be a Corey Heim. I don't know.
Heimtown.
Heim lick. It's the realm of the giants. So they're trying to figure out how to get to the realm of the giants to complete this quest, and on the way, you know, Kratos he's not been the greatest dad. He's kind of, you know, he's a little rough around the edges. That whole God of War thing.
Sure.
So the game, you know, from right away, from the beginning, you know, it's how are they going to suddenly come to terms with each other and become a family?
Sure.
So as it's been going, the story has been great. The mythology has been awesome. The gameplay, you know, it borders on that style that I don't enjoy, but I'm still having fun with it right now. So crossing
What
fingers.
is the style that you don't
Which
enjoy?
is that Devil May Cry,
Gotcha.
the combo thing where it's like it's a lot of guys around you and you've got swinging things and you do finally you start off with an axe. That you can throw, but it's mostly, you know, that handheld melee thing. Later on in the game, you straight up go to hell, and while you're in hell, the only way to fight the demons in hell, because it's actually a cold place, is your fiery swords from the first games, which are on chains.
Really?
So you get the chains back, and then you have both weapons, and you can switch like at press of a button, and you're using the other weapon. The interesting thing though. As far as the game goes, you know, it is the story. The story is it's driving it, and while you know what it is, it's got some interesting stuff to it. The introduction of certain characters, Freya has been a great, interesting character. But you go through the story not wanting to tell Atreus his true nature, and
he's your son.
It's a linchpin to that relationship. Is Kratos not wanting to quote unquote curse his son with the knowledge of this. And then you find out later on that that's not exactly what he meant by the curse. But we're going to get into some these are pretty deep story points. So I guess FYI, if you care, you might not want to hear this. And maybe I've already gone too deep with this.
Well, maybe I'll interrupt you then.
Okay.
I was gonna spring this on you after, but I got God of War. I've been playing it.
Oh, nice.
So maybe you could do it without deep spoilers. I mean, if it's anything, you've already given some stuff away so far, and that's fine with me. Like, so if it's more along those lines, I think we're good. But if it's like, it is a story point, and it does come down to you know that at some point, Kratos has to tell Atreus. Okay. All right. Yeah. Cool,
and it's that moment, and it happens. I don't know where I'm at in the game. Like I can't really give myself a barometer because I don't feel like I'm that close to the end. But
yeah, no,
I'm not real sure.
I've also heard that game apparently has kind of it appears like it's going to wrap up, and then it very much seems like they added something to the end of it, like a whole. The third act seems a little tagged on, I guess is what I've heard. Like it should have ended a lot sooner.
Okay,
I don't know.
so I'm going into the third act because this does feel like it's like I said, it's a turning point where Atreus finds out that he is a god. And
right.
it's really funny because he goes from being this like wide-eyed kid, and I mean now you've kind of experienced this. He's trying to connect with his father, but he's still a kid at heart. The minute he finds out he's a god, he is suddenly like, I don't care about your stupid piddly problems, and who cares about little puny humans anymore? And so you could like, this is going to be an instructive thing throughout, you know, where he's
so his character becomes a dill hole. He doesn't necessarily become. He doesn't become like an annoying part of the gameplay.
No.
Story.
Gameplay wise, he doesn't change. It's still the same thing. No. It's character. It's all the dialogue and just like and the way the guy or the way the person doing the voice, I should say, is gives it very like. There's a moment where it's like you can almost hear him sneering when he's talking. You know, it's like he goes from being like, "Oh my gosh, I'm Atreus," to "Ugh, filthy gnomes and dwarves, fix our weaponry."
He
and
becomes racist in a heartbeat when somebody tells
it's
him
just
he's
it's not that he's racist so much as he is speciesist. Like if you're human, you are garbage. If you are a dwarf, you are garbage. You're not a god. You're garbage. I mean, I guess if gods are a race, sure. Either way.
Well, it's from what I know of that series, interesting because that whole series is anti-god, and like he's that's what Kratos does is go around killing all the gods, right?
Right.
Like, and now he's moved on to the Norse pantheon, so it's kind of to have his son find out and then start taking on some of that. That's
it's pretty funny,
pretty cool.
And there are a couple of moments where there's that levity that kind of comes up a little bit here and there with the dwarves, the dwarves that fix your equipment and stuff. Like the kid says something really, really rude, and the dwarf goes, "So are we just gonna ignore that?" Or it was that's perfect, you know. And it's funny because again, this is a case where I think the writing is really, really doing a great service to the story because for as fantastical as the story is, Atreus has very much so been a boy and now is turning into a teenager essentially that I think we all can identify with on some level. Like we all recognize there's a moment where we kind of change and things, you know, you kind of
become a jerk.
It's the angst moment, you know. It is that thing where
you remember the point at some point during your teenage years when you became an incredible jerk, or you still are one, and that just doesn't make any sense to you.
Yeah, either way, you know, good game. Loving it. So I will tell you, I did get, I had a rage quit moment though. There are...
How meta.
Yeah. I really, really wanted to war my rage into that controller. There are these doors that early on you can't open. They're just like, they look like they almost look like they're going to be a mirror or something. They're just these gray doors. You eventually get a way into the doors, and behind the doors are chests, you know, and then there is a sub, it's a favor. They call it favors, and that are the secondary missions. So
labors.
You have the main mission, and you've got favors.
Oh, okay.
Labors.
I found a labor.
Labors, yeah. So labors are the like kill X amount of things in this way. Favors are the somebody says, I need your help to go do this thing. It's
gotcha.
Okay. So there's a secondary favor that you do that works with those doors. And I won't give away what it is because I do think it was kind of cool.
And or you want me to rage quit?
I do want you go. You won't. You'll. This is one of those things that you will figure. You'll have like one or two fights, and then you'll immediately go, "Oh, okay, got it." And
okay, you're giving me a lot of credit, but that's
because you deserve as much credit as possible.
I run into plenty of instances where I bang my head against a thing because I'm overthinking it. I'm like, oh, I had to turn the doorknob or something. You know, I had to press. Oh no, it's one prompt
this is your bread and butter, man. Because the thing I'm talking about is It's a Batman Arkham Asylum, the
Oh,
challenge
okay,
mode things
all right.
essentially. It is
Oh,
it is
okay.
essentially a challenge mode. It's not something you have to do, but if you complete all of the iterations of it, you get something at the end. And I'm not precisely sure what it is. I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it is.
I haven't decided if I'm going to go that deep into it, but yeah, I'll go.
You
go ahead.
will do at least one of them. And then as they progress, like you'll do it because you won't know. You'll walk into it and you'll go, "What is this?" You'll get the quest and then you'll decide what, and you will want to do
Gotcha.
it because you'll want to do it. You'll respect it. I know you will.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been good though, man. I like it. How far are you? So where are
Just
you
one
at?
chapter in. Yeah, no, I'm super early, and Candy's watching it with me, so it's one of those things where I'll get maybe one chapter a night done at some point when she again like every night I'm like, what do you want to do? TV show, movie, or God of War? And God of War has not won yet.
So I will say that the game is easy enough to you can continue playing it without hitting the story beats because they're so obvious. Like you can see they're missions, they're basic missions. So once you get out into the world, everything, if you're actually going to progress and get any actual story, you'll have the one thing. Otherwise, it's just go play in the world.
Yeah,
So,
which is why also that's why when I say I don't know if I'll do that other stuff, like I don't know how deep I'll get into the side stuff. Basically, I was sitting somewhere and for all my story gaming bluster, like I love story games. Like, what am I doing if I'm not playing God of War?
the story game.
The game. This is the one I should be playing if I'm so into story games.
You should.
So.
I'm glad that we don't have to mock you anymore.
It does get worse though when we can
Okay, keep
get
going.
there, I guess. Do
No,
you have any other games?
No.
Oh.
So make it worse.
So I did. I went to the Target to find it because actually it's still sold out at a lot of places. Probably not GameStop, but I didn't. That's like last resort,
Yeah.
But Target did have it. They also had a PlayStation VR for $350, I think is what it was. It was the sale price. There was a big old sale on the bundle that came with Skyrim and Move and the camera, like everything you need, right?
Yep.
I think up until like March 3rd or something like that, and they still had one of those at that sale price. So I did purchase that.
Nice.
Also,
That's awesome.
yeah. So it's been a weird couple weeks here.
Indeed. Excitement.
I know what's going to happen now, especially we're going to get into E3 a little bit later. Microsoft is finally going to announce whatever VR initiative or whatever they call it mixed reality, I guess, for the Xbox. I guess that's going to happen now that I've finally bought one.
And it'll come in at like
PlayStation.
$250.
Yeah,
and
it'll be 10 times better.
And because they'll learn from Sony.
Yeah. Although I did get that was part of the other reason I was into it is because they did do a hardware refresh on the PSVR already.
Yeah.
It's minor, like there's not increased resolution or anything like that,
Right.
but it had a little better things. It came with headphones and little different designs. So
Nice, man. It's exciting.
yeah, it was cool. The thing's actually really, really cool. Like I know it's the cheapest and kind of the
Dude, whatever,
whatever.
man. Rez looked awesome. That weird dinosaur shooting game looked cool.
The dinosaur shooting game, it turns out, is more of a, if I'm thinking of the same one, because it came with the demo disc 2, and it's more of a like an RTS type thing, or not even that. Like it's more like a Sim City type thing. Like you're building cities. If it's the same game I'm thinking of, it's the only dinosaur game I got on the.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe they weren't
Yeah.
dinosaurs. Maybe they were just like giant spiders or something. But it was the game we saw at PAX. And it was, I think, the one you wanted to play with the guns and stuff. And then you ended up with Rez.
Farpoint, right?
Is that
Yeah,
what it
the
was
one
called?
that's like on Mars. Yeah, well, that's the one I wanted to play.
Yeah.
Did not come with a demo of that. There might be a demo out there for download, actually. So I did get the demo disc too. It did come with Skyrim VR, but I'm going to sell that. I honestly don't even really want to play that. I'm sure it's cool, and I have.
I have the same feeling about Fallout VR. Like, I am just super not into that. Is not the game I want to sit there and play like in VR for some reason.
I feel like it's not well suited. Like I like the idea of there being a game that big that you can just immerse yourself in the world even more, because those
sure.
things are super immersive experiences already.
Yeah.
But I mean, VR is not a thing that you can marathon really. Like I think I've topped out at like an hour maybe, and by the end of that I'm like, okay, like we need to. And I'm not even talking about like sick to my stomach or anything. Just you know, like kind of sensory.
You just get tired. Yeah. It's
yeah. So I can't. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I might download Super Hot VR. Obviously.
Oh yeah, you got to try it. Especially with the they just announced the Super Hot team is working with somebody in China, and they're making, or Japan maybe. I think it's Japan, yeah. And they're making a Super Hot Japan that's going to be like totally unique to Japanese culture and style and everything.
And Super Hot VR is a different game than Super Hot.
Yeah, man, get all the Super Hot.
No. I will. Yes,
it's super
definitely.
hot.
And Star Trek Bridge Crew, they're releasing a TNG thing, DLC.
Oh, sure.
That?
You got to Picard it up.
Yeah.
Number 1, I order you to take a number 2.
That's that Family Guy?
Beavis and Butthead, I think.
Oh, dang it. Okay. I default Family Guy because I feel like Patrick Stewart and Seth MacFarlane are like best friends. Like he'll show up, or he was on
American Dad.
He was on the other one, wasn't he? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Whatever.
I think he did. No, but he did a cameo on. It doesn't matter.
Why he's been on Family Guy tons of times. Yeah. No,
doesn't
Patrick
matter.
Stewart,
wrong cartoon.
better than Family
Beaver
Guy.
and Button.
The ones I did play, that demo disc comes with Job Simulator. Super cool.
Yeah,
right?
That's neat.
Everybody knows that. Res Infinite, which I did play at PAX, we probably talked about, but probably another one where money might actually happen. There's like a handful where I might actually spend some money.
I definitely want to try that. That does look like a lot of fun.
A lot of them are not discounted though. Like that Batman VR thing, which by all accounts is just pretty short, and you being Batman for a little bit, like there's no actual gameplay. It's like $30. I'm like, that's not. Yeah, but yeah, Res Thumper was also super cool. That's that game.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, check it out. Just the I've heard it's good outside of VR too. Like just playing a good game, but it's the aesthetic. It's like techno horror almost.
Okay.
It's really weird.
I'm into that.
Yeah. And then Moss, which is kind of a third person action adventure thing. You play a little mouse, and the room is kind of stationary, and you're doing puzzles with it, and you're using the PlayStation controller to affect some things while controlling the mouse as a third person thing. And that's just beautiful and like super cool to be in that world. And there were some puzzles where like you're literally like bending your head and like getting closer to look inside of a box to see what's in there.
That's cool.
It was cool. Yeah.
I wonder if there's a PlayStation version of Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
There is. I saw that too. Yeah, that's up there too.
You definitely should.
Did you get that for VR?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is the most fun. You mean you don't have to have it on VR, but it is way more fun with it.
No, I have it normally. Yeah. Also, in fact, I think I have it. Oh no, I just have it on Steam. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we've done it on Steam a few times. Does the VR add much? Like, is that definitely?
I think it does. It takes away. It takes it. So there, it does add that like you're really looking at it, and you're able to move it around, and instead of using a mouse or a keyboard or whatever. And the other thing is that it adds to the other person really not being able to see it. That the fact that they can't look at unless normally you can have somebody sit on the other side of the TV or on the other side of the thing, but this way they just have no idea and they really are stuck listening to you.
Okay, all right, that's another one then. Yeah, there's like I said, there's a handful. I'm definitely it's hard to spend $350. I think it was $350. It's $350 or $250. I don't know. What's $100? It's hard to spend that and then games. Also because I bought that and God of War at the same time.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, so it'll happen.
Good job, consumer.
More like good job,
prosumer.
Conscientious
objector.
Father.
Oh yeah.
In charge of the money. I don't know.
It was for your kids.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah, we'll get there. And then there's another one on the demo disc was Raw Data, which is
Epic's
from what I can tell. You've heard of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be pretty throwaway. Like it's just a shooting gallery kind of type thing, which I hear there's a ton of on the VR market.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a good one of those or not, but guess who's never played one before?
Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. That's not the one I'm thinking of. I do know the game. I do know the game though. Yeah.
It's cool. Like there's probably better ones out there, but this is pretty cool. Like it uses the motion controllers at an angle that feels a little too high up. Like I feel like I want to point the gun down a little bit, so I'm having to adjust a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's freaking cool. Like
Robo Recall is the one I'm thinking of.
Oh man, no, and I thought about that too. Like if it was on this one, I was totally gonna look at it. I don't think it's on PSVR.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah. Isn't that Epic or something?
That's Epic's game. Yeah.
But no, I should look at what the best shooting gallery is, because this was pretty rad. Just standing there, and it does a little bit of the Doom VFR thing where the movement is relegated to kind of thumb presses. Like you press the thumb and then it shows you a path where you'll jump to. There's no like actual walking.
Right.
You're using the move controllers too. Yeah. So it does that with the movement. It doesn't ever actually want you to turn around and look behind you, because it'll lose position on the motion controllers when they go behind your body. So you're flipping around, you're doing quick turns and stuff like that rather than actually turning around. But you still have a ton of range of movement. Like overall, I'm super impressed at how well that thing tracks.
Yeah.
Like period. Like head, and motion controllers when they're not hidden or whatever. It's perfect actually. I haven't run into a single problem.
Nice.
So that's cool. I can see where it would be beneficial to have something like the Vive where it's got lighthouses behind you, so is no so I can see how that would be useful also.
It's a different, I mean, it's different. The Vive does give you, it affords you a little bit more space to walk around in. So you actually can move in the environments, and like the shooting gallery games are certainly, those are 360, the freaking zombie games, man, that are terrifying.
So I haven't, I downloaded for free when it was on PlayStation Plus, the Rush of Blood, Rise of Dawn, Dawn of Rye.
Yep. At dawn, you want the bread to rise.
No, that's it. At dawn, something at dawn. Ready at dawn?
Sure.
It was like a one-off. Until Dawn. Thank you. Okay. Until Dawn was like the adventure-ish type game. It got some good reviews, but this was like a VR kind of offshoot. I don't think it's a full.
Got it.
I don't know how full it is. I don't know how full it is because this and the other one that came on the demo disc called Persistence, which you click on it and then it shows a zombie. You're like, oh, this is a scary game. Backing out. I haven't got to that point yet.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. At some point. Tell you what though, I did spend some money on PSVR Worlds, which I think
it's got to be there.
I don't know if it was a launch title or it's kind of like the Wii Games type thing.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say it's got to be that. Yeah.
And I've only played one of the games because I wanted. My son's pretty obsessed with sharks and being in the ocean.
Yeah.
My special needs son, so he's got some things about it, like some. They're not obsessions, but they're. I actually don't know what they are. I should probably find out the terminology, but whatever. He's my son.
Whatever. Health. Nothing matters.
It's not important. They're like bells is one. Like certain auditory things like vibrations will kind of freak him out. He can acclimatize, like I can help him get used to them, but they'll just automatically scare him and he'll like cover his ears and get kind of freaked out about it. And then being underwater is one of those things. And not actually being underwater, he actually handles swimming pretty well. Mm-hmm. But like we went to an IMAX movie of like a whales thing once, and he was just like sensory, like if he thinks he's underwater or if there's too much about it that is underwater, like he'll get a little freaked out.
Sure.
So I knew I had to buy the thing. I knew there's two different ones, and I couldn't find the other one easily enough, but I knew this shark encounter one was part of PSVR World, so that's why I downloaded this one. And the first time I put him in there, he was pretty not into it. This is gonna sound bad because it feels like I'm like torturing my son or something like that, but it's hard to get him to step outside of his comfort zone sometimes, and I think that's important for all children.
All children.
So he was holding on to me like super tight, and like I had to keep like lifting up the headset, or he would lift it up to kind of make sure the world existed still.
Yeah.
I'd be like, it's all right, like it's cool, and then he basically was like no, and I'm like okay. So we took it off. He went somewhere, I think it was like a basketball, he does Special Olympics a little bit, and then apparently the whole way back like would not shut up to my wife about the thing. He's like, I want to do it again. It's like, where do I go see the shark? Like, I got to get it back in the shark thing. Like, I got to do the thing. Like, just would not stop. So he got back, and then he got back into it. Like, are you sure? Because sometimes he'll be like, I want to do this, and he'll be like, okay, and then he'll be like, no.
Right. Yeah. It's the dawning realization of, wait, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah. It's a very adult thing, in fact.
Yeah. I regret everything.
But he didn't do that. He was like, no, like I want back in, like I'm good, like whatever. Like still held on to me pretty good, but we got all the way through the thing. We got to where the shark comes, and he's like looking around, and it's super cool, man. Like it's almost better than playing yourself. It's just watching him and my daughter get into it. Like she freaking loves it.
Oh, I know it, man. I love watching people experience it for the first time, especially
Totally.
like
Yeah.
there's one that I have for the Vive that's a ocean thing, and it's got like 3 different encounters with it. And
Is that the one where you're just like you walk into the ocean? That's the one I was looking for that I kept hearing about.
This is you are already there. You're on a boat, or you're on a sunken ship, or wherever you are, and you just kind of look around, and there are jellyfish, or there's a giant whale, or whatever. That's
yeah,
great.
which is pretty much, I just wanted something like that. And this kind of has that. There's 2 different modes. One of them has like a story thing to it that's doesn't need to be there.
Right.
But then the other mode is kind of just takes that all out, except there's no shark at the end. So
Stupid no sharks.
I swear there's one where like you walk into the ocean. It's called like The Deep or something. Maybe that's the one you got. What's the name of the one you're talking about?
I don't remember.
Okay,
Honestly,
all right. Well,
it's been a while
stay
since I
tuned.
played it.
We'll figure that one out. Super fun. Super happy with it. I
Nice.
mean, we'll see what happens when they announce the thing that I should have waited for, but maybe they won't. Maybe Microsoft will come through and not release any hardware for the Xbox finally.
They won't. I don't believe it. If they do, it'll be another Kinect. They're certain everybody wants one.
That would be rather perfect, actually. You said you wanted hardware. Here it comes.
Kinect 2.0. 3.0. I guess.
Wait, wasn't the last one 2.0?
Yeah, it's
Oh, no! They don't. This one is. Oh, Microsoft. Speaking of Microsoft, actually.
Yeah, keep going.
I did actually play some of my Xbox. Mostly played, in fact. Burnout Paradise Remastered has entered the tier of, speaking of this, actually, we just kind of talked about it, Tony Hawk and any Batman Arkham game. You're like the challenge rooms you were talking about.
The challenge rooms, yeah.
Basically, it's turned into I can just sit here and stare at this thing and do it and
Crash forever.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, I stayed up till 4 the other night just doing online, and all online too is the crazy thing. Like just doing challenges and you know, I found the way to do it is to create my own server, and those actually fill up. I hadn't been doing that because, you know, you wanted to get into a game that's kind of already full, but then they're choosing challenges that I might not need. So I've been doing my own server, and it populates. It takes some time, you know, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes sometimes, but
I don't have that kind of time.
yeah, that does take a while. But when you stay up till 4, see?
That's a good point.
Problem solved. Mostly. It was a hard day. The next day was hard. No, it's super cool. That's amazing game. Like still into it. I'm 160 challenges, I think.
You only had to
fun,
finish,
man.
You only had to finish 20 of them.
I haven't even run into like idiots.
How's the crashing? That's all I care about.
It's good. I thought I played too many Ubisoft games. I'm like, it hasn't crashed at all. There's lots of crashes.
What do you think? This is Tetris?
And they're super fun. So the challenges are mostly not a ton of crashing. They're usually like jump through this thing or jump over each other. So there's some amount of coordination sometimes involved, which, like I said, amazingly people do it. Like they're into it. Like there's some where, in fact, I did an 8-player one where one person had to jump over all 7 other players. So you can imagine what it would take to get 7 strangers in a public lobby to line up under a jump so one guy can do it. And it actually happened. I was pretty floored.
I can't wait because I will jump in and not be able to get any of those things to work.
There's, I think, 500 challenges total. So,
oh, you're almost done then.
Yeah. Someday I'll start the single player. It'll be even more fun, maybe.
I highly doubt it. Single player games, they're dead. They're dead. Nobody wants single player. Nobody wants story. It's all Fortnite and Glenn Campbell nowadays.
Have you played Fortnite, actually?
No, I have not played anything.
I just don't know if that's like the one, because there's games you play and you're like, I don't have to talk about them because I'm always playing them, right? So I don't know.
I have not touched anything other than those games. I haven't touched BattleTech yet. Beth actually picked up a game while we were waiting to figure stuff out. She picked up a game called Through the Woods. That's it's a horror adventure game kind of thing, like Firewatch style.
Oh, okay.
And it's oddly enough, because of God of War, it's based on Norse mythology, and it's definitely like Norwegian. Like everybody, it was. I think it was made in Norway.
Like made there too. Okay,
yeah, like
cool.
all the voice actors are Norwegian and stuff. It sounds like so.
Huh.
It looks good. It's cool.
Cool. So stay tuned for that, I guess, next week.
We'll see. She is, because that's
Who
one of
knows?
those games that she probably. I don't know if she'll play it by herself. I mean, I'm not playing it. I'm not involved in it anymore. I was watching it, but.
I see.
Yeah, kind of like what Candy does, I think.
So Beth is like, "Do you want to play this?" And you're like, I'm giving her a hard time. I know she's into it, and she did like the beginning of it, so I'm sure we'll.
No, my favorite thing Beth does right now is she comes in, she goes, "Are you a God of War?" Not yet. She's like, "Have you won?" No.
Is there a dill hole?
She's
at
like,
least?
"Okay, you're my little God of War. I'm gonna go do something adult now. Bye bye." And I'm like, "Baby Kratos, no." And I'm like, I got my blades are all dulled, but I still have them. I'm throwing them at the wall. Me.
This is right. You have to say, was it right when you were rage quitting? I can't figure out the doors.
Why does my son have to be such a dill hole? Speaking of dill holes, it's time to talk about the road to E3. E3 is coming up, and there's a road, and we're going to follow it until we get
Probably
there.
pretty soon. Can we get a date on this?
No,
hey,
there's no
intern.
way, no possible way to find out.
Well, we don't have one.
Yeah, let's start. Intern Brandon. E3 2013. What?
June 12th to 14th.
Thank you, Intern Brandon.
2018.
Now, as often happens with people like Intern Brandon, we have to flog and decimate their
Corpse?
their quality of life
Yes.
for not having this information ahead of time.
We'll see what we can do.
Road to E3.
What intern Brandon will tell you, though, is that the closer things get to E3, the lesser the news happens, technically, I think.
It's true. Everybody's kind of backed in, and so we're looking at people are holding stuff back. They're waiting to release information.
Some leaks here and there.
Leakies, little leakers.
We'll get to also, but we thought for that reason, we just run through in chronological order here.
The word you just said.
When the conferences are going to happen, press conferences are going to happen for each of these. We got EA, Bethesda, Microsoft, etc. And talk about what games might show up there and where they stand with the entirety of the Zero Hit Points crew, minus Brandon.
Yeah, and also Sean.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Dang it.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait, let me check. Nope, Sean's not here. You're
Sean's
right.
out. Yeah. All right, let's kick it off. Let's start with the biggest, baddest of them all, Electronic Arts. They got a couple of games that we know are coming. Anthem is coming. Dragon Age 4 is coming. We know those. Those are guaranteed. There's been some, those are known quantities. They talked about those last year, for crying out loud.
Really? Oh, okay. I didn't even know Dragon Age 4 was a thing okay. Hey. Yeah. I know.
Dragon Age 4 it was announced sometime back. We'll see what they end up with in terms of that. And then Anthem being supposedly the answer to Destiny. So we'll see what that turns out to.
Well, that's the one they really need to talk about. Like if they don't, I feel like this is the time for significant details about Anthem. They need to start ramping up into actual specifics.
Definitely. 100%.
Unless they're going to delay it. So,
hopefully they do.
If it's just a trailer on that thing, it could happen.
Yeah. And then Battlefield 1 players found an Easter egg that led to the release date supposedly of Battlefield 2 or Battlefield 5 or whatever they're going to call it. Battlefield the next.
Well, the other rumor going around that it's World War II. So
I just can't get excited about this right now. Battlefield 1 was good in story sense. It's like those games multiplayer wise are just too dull for me at this point. I think they're fun to play with other people, but you're
not necessarily souring on because you really enjoyed Battlefield 1.
I did and I think the gameplay is great. It's hard for me to ever want to plug that in though and play multiplayer. I just
gotcha.
It's a game where the desire to play those things, I just don't have that desire. Those are not.
Gotcha. Hey, look at that. You came over to my side instead of me going over to your side.
It's true. I'm not the next Battlefield game. And I mean, this goes for Battlefront too. I'm no chance.
You didn't come that far over to my side.
No, I will not come back. There is no chance they're getting me for Battlefront 3, which I imagine also will show up here.
You think so? No.
I think that they will talk about it. I think something's going to come out.
No.
I do.
No.
I do.
No. They need to put distance between themselves and that franchise.
Battlefront 2 was such a nightmare. I think Battlefront, they're going to have it's going to be done. The game's already ready.
They're not going to talk about it. It might
be.
In fact, yeah, I bet somebody somewhere is working on it in some capacity, but they're not going to talk about it.
They were working on it 2 minutes after Battlefront 2 released.
They were working on it like after it bombed. They were like, it did poorly and there was a big old controversy and they're like, well, get started on Battlefront 2.
3.
Dang it.
Yeah,
no, see, that's what I mean, right? They were we might as well start making Battlefield 2 now. Field front.
All right. EA. So I think you're right. EA's big one is going to be Anthem. We need to hear more about that. We need to see more of it. It's the game that man, the look of that first intro, that first peek was hype. People dug it. I dug it. It looked cool.
No, it looks good. I bet it ends up looking pretty good. It's just, how different is it from Destiny, or is it just another? If it's another better Destiny, I still don't know if I'm like.
No, that's like it has to be significantly better than Destiny. Like it's
even then, like if it's a significantly better one of those games, even then I'm still like
it's a tough prospect. It really does come down to some gameplay elements and what makes it unique, so we'll see.
Yeah. Did you ever get into the Dragon Age series at all?
No.
Any of them?
No,
okay.
Not at all. I had no interest in those games even a little bit.
So Bethesda then.
Yeah, so this went on to Bethesda.
They're going to talk about the thing they already released. In fact, I guess it leaked, and it sounds like they might have come out with a trailer ahead of time because of that or something.
Yesterday they released like a 50-second teaser thing. Tomorrow the full gameplay trailer is supposed to be released, so we'll find out what Rage 2 looks like. I'm actually kind of interested in this because that first game, it was in many respects what Borderlands originally kind of looked like.
Sure, yeah.
And then it didn't quite click for me. I did play it and I didn't even come close to finishing it because it was really rote, really boring. Like it just didn't. It had the look. It had for the most part it felt good too. It just was not an engaging game. So I would love to see this become an engaging game.
Well, the trailer makes it look completely different than the first one. Like it's rowdy and it's got some irreverence to it.
And Piper.
You wish that would be a day one.
Dude, a video game of Hell Comes to Frogtown. I'm sold on it.
It just looks so different from what the first Rage was, even though I didn't play. I played Rage at PAX, whatever year that was, 10 years ago.
Yeah, 2001.
And it was enough of it. Like it always seemed interesting, and I'm sure id did a good job on a lot of stuff. The tech, I remember it was a big thing. Like the Rage engine still went on after that for a long time. I don't know either. I think part of the reason I didn't get into Rage also is because we were already playing a bunch of Borderlands.
We were.
So
and it did, but it evoked that original look to it before they went to that kind of cell shaded thing that Borderlands became known for. So yeah, I'm interested in Rage 2. What else is Bethesda going to bring? Elder Scrolls stuff. Probably some. I don't know. Maybe some online. Know. Maybe, I imagine that there's got to be a new version of Skyrim that they can release. So, that's good.
For phones? Right?
Yeah, maybe we get some more Fallout something. I don't know what they would do with that. Yeah, it's that game is done, so. If
there's a major title, it's Elder Scrolls Turn, right? Like that would be, I don't even know if that, though.
It could make sense. Skyrim has been out forever, so, it would make sense for them to do, Elder Scrolls, what was 6?
I'm just saying they usually alternate between Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Skyrim job. It's going to be a different kind of game.
Yeah.
Bethesda.
Maybe.
Moving on, Microsoft?
Yeah, this is the biggest question mark. I just have no idea what they'll show. Okay, they need to show Crackdown 3. I don't know what more they show. I don't know. It needs to appear somewhere. Is that this year? It's this year, right?
I don't see. I'm so confused on what that game's delays have been, because I think it's supposed to come out in November, but is it? Who knows?
Yeah, they need to talk about that in some capacity. This is where we're going to start talking some rumors, and let's see. This was from Walmart Canada. Apparently, they had some placeholder retail listings.
Placeholder retail listings.
Most of them spelled correctly.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, so there's a degree of iffiness about all this. Not that a Canadian Walmart employee wouldn't misspell Assassin's Creed. They spelled it wrong several times. Is it spelled differently in Canada? Can we get a spelling on Assassin's Creed, Adam, in Canada? You can get back to us.
I'm sure it's the same thing. Yeah.
But the Borderlands 3, something called Destiny Comet, Lego DC Villains.
What does this have to do with Microsoft?
It has to do with Microsoft because the other one was Gears of War 5.
Just focus on that one.
It's going to come up later also. You're right. Maybe I shouldn't have jumped the gun on some of those other ones. Gears of War 5 rumored to maybe be a thing. Couldn't be more disinterested. Thank you.
Yes.
Moving on.
Correct. Moving on. Halo 6. Same boat. Couldn't be more disinterested.
Yeah. And again, they're all just question marks like this. Like, what is they have the least idea of what Microsoft does right now.
Well, and Microsoft has been so poor with their first party games lately,
and their first person games.
And yeah, I don't know. The Fable 4 was pseudo confirmed before, so I can imagine we'll see that.
There's been a bunch of rumors about that.
Forza Horizon.
This would be the year for Forza Horizon 4, technically.
It makes sense, so we'll probably see that too. I don't know. Other questions coming up. Square Enix. What are they? They haven't been here for 3 years. So what are they bringing to the table now? You've got.
Well, You
got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's coming. We know this. Kingdom Hearts 3 is Kingdom Hearts gonna finally cross-platform, go everywhere? No, it will not.
Didn't Final Fantasy? Could you get that on an Xbox?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not Final Fantasy 7.
No,
which mattered, but I think they released a more recent Final Fantasy on the Xbox.
Who knows?
We're very, very, very knowledgeable.
Square Enix, this is not.
Square
not
is certainly forte. Not.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I'm into. In fact, I'm tempted to go because I have the first one definitive edition, and I think the second one is on Games Pass right now, which I still have because of Sea of Thieves and soon to be State of Decay 2. So I'm tempted to just run that trilogy, but I hear you need to want to do that more than Burnout Paradise, so probably not going to happen. In any event, Square Enix. Maybe that Avengers game.
That could be interesting. I would be interested in playing an actual superhero game again. That was not a fighting game necessarily. Something different.
Well, this is the one they touted like ex Naughty Dog and Visceral people working on an Avengers game.
Look, I would love to play an Avengers game that was basically Arkham Asylum. That's all I want. I just want superhero games that are Arkham Asylum, but with their special powers. Give me a Shazam game, Arkham Asylum. Good. I'm gonna do it. And then give me the ability.
That sounds pretty good.
Give me the ability to change back and forth between Billy to get into places and get into other nooks and crannies, and then back into Shazam. I already got this made.
It's a Lego game.
Yeah, I'm genius.
It's a Shazam game where you just play as Billy for the first. And then
the whole game
until the sequel,
Now, moving forward, my favorite company to rag on, even though I do love them immensely, Ubisoft.
And these were the two where the other two, like Assassin's Creed and a new Splinter Cell, also came out of that Walmart leak. So those could be things.
Splinter Cell could be cool.
Splinter Cell seems about right.
I could be interested in a new Splinter Cell game. Assassin's Creed is as a series is pretty much just gone. I'm just done with it.
I would be disappointed if they headed back to the yearly model with that thing, but I don't know. Origins appear to do well, and if they can, they will, I think is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I just can't deal with it. Division 2 could be interesting. I am curious what the deal is with that, because they have done such a good job with bringing the Division kind of up to snuff, so to speak. But they did lose a lot of people because it didn't launch great. So Division 2 does make sense. I mean, that's coming. We know it's going to happen.
Yeah, they've talked about that too. Same with The Crew too. Those are happening.
That is one that just blows my mind, that game must have had enough sales and a big enough online community to warrant a sequel, because that was so not interesting to me. Like, and I mean, and obviously I'm just one man, but geez, in terms of
we were excited about it at some point. I remember the first time it was at PAX, and I think that was at their like a record 3 years or something like that.
And I don't think we played it until, and once we did, then we went, oh.
Yeah, no, we were totally interested, and then we played it, and we're like, whoa, this handle, or I did it at least.
Yeah,
like,
no,
this handle's bad.
This
handle's very bad.
Yeah, we had the same reaction that it was not comfortable in any way.
And then they supposedly knew that. That was part of what they addressed, and then it was at another PAX where we played it again, I think, but it was just kind of like, I think it was over at that point.
And I would imagine UB will also show off Beyond Good and Evil 2.
That's the biggest question mark, though. I think, like, is that do they keep showing that, or is that just something that kind of buries its head and we don't see it until it's 6 months for being out?
I think that I would like to hope that the game is nearing completion and that they're going to show it and say,
really,
here we go, it's coming January or February or something like that.
That seems soon. I feel like that's a game that
they have been working on it
BioShock
for freaking ever. Like,
have they?
I guess I
don't know. Like, I feel
the game's been floating forever, man.
I know it's been floating. I feel like it hasn't seen like dedicated production.
I don't
actually,
know.
But,
I don't think it's that big of a game that's going to take that. But who knows? Who knows?
Nobody
it's
knows.
Ubisoft.
E3,
it'll
2018.
It'll crash. Sony is going to take a different angle with no hardware.
Yeah, a different angle altogether with their conference, it seems. They've talked about streaming, which is not a different angle, but about doing it in some way different than they have in the past. So I don't know what that means, whatever. But they have confirmed they're not going to talk about hardware at all. They've got games. They've already talked about games for sure that they're going to be showing, namely Death Stranding.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see more of whatever the hell that game is.
Very, very interested in whatever I'm interested in with that thing.
Yeah. Give me weird babies and crazy weird aliens that hear you and move.
Reedus Fetus 2018, man.
Reedus Fetus!
Let's keep doing it. Spider-Man going to be there, which that's this year, right?
Insomniac, yep.
And that's, I think I'm very close to day one whenever I get that thing. So I don't know how much more I need to see from that thing anyways. Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this. I've been itching ever since I started playing God of War. I keep seeing Last of Us remastered, and I never finished it, and I really, really want to kind of pick it back up.
Me too. Yeah, let me know. That might be another one you push me over the edge on. Great. And the Ghosts of Tsushima from Sucker Punch, that new thing.
Yeah, Sucker Punch is super hit or miss for me, so I'm curious what they put out with this.
That trailer looked cool.
It did. It looked great.
In fact, was that last E3?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. And then I've seen a bunch of media push from Days Gone.
Yes.
Lately. You say that again?
Yes.
I was thinking more of a okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I hated that thing when it showed. Whatever that was last E3.
Yeah, I was into it. I remember
it so boilerplate, like in like a bad Last of Us knockoff.
I feel like you and I diverged on that, and back then too, because I did like that. I thought that looked it could be cool.
Well, there's a lot more of it out there to see, I guess. None of it I've watched. I'm still just running on fumes.
Fumes are great. Speaking of fumes, Nintendo always kind of pulling in last on these things, but then oftentimes pulling out some random thing that turns into like this giant awesome game or whatever. But Nintendo is going to roll out, I think this is right, Metroid Prime 4. I think we're going to see Metroid baby.
Something beyond the logo, I would imagine.
I think
I think just because I don't know. I mean, they usually have a ton of games, but like 2 you want to hear about.
Right. Because
I feel like Metroid Prime 4 is the one they actually have to, get a headline with or something.
Yeah, I don't know what else they're going to do. I don't know that they'll bring anything for Smash Brothers other than maybe some quality of life improvements, maybe
Wait, is that out for Switch already?
To me that's not exciting. I don't know why that would be exciting for.
No, but that's one of their marquee titles. Like Nintendo releases a system and they release a Mario, a Zelda, and okay, so those are already out already.
Yeah, I get it. I just don't understand. You have a question mark, and I don't know why there's a question mark behind it. That's
because they haven't, as far as I know, said it's going to be there. That's just a you can imagine it would be there.
So at the end of the March 2018 Nintendo Direct, Smash Brothers Switch was revealed, so we know it's coming.
Right.
It's probably gonna be an updated version. They'll probably add a couple characters to it. It's Smash.
So you
Brothers.
think it'll be there? They'll talk about it.
Of course they will, because it's got enough people that like it. It's a big thing for them. It is. It's got a freaking league behind it. They'll talk about it.
I got you. It's. Neither one of us will be purchasing it. It seems.
No, I have it already for the Wii U, and it's like who cares? I mean, I'm sorry. It's my I guess this is kind of where I'm at with Nintendo. I love their products. I'm sick of them just releasing the same game for every freaking console, like over and over.
Yeah.
It's the same Smash Brothers that was released for, it's like whatever,
Yeah.
It's fine. I guess every console does it. I hate everything. And they'll probably bring Pokemon too, because there's got to be Pokemon. They always bring
Gotta be Pokemon.
Yeah, who cares? Moving on.
Pokemon Go for Switch. Check it out.
Great. 2K is going to be the one that I think is most interesting, because
they don't actually have a press conference. I just put it seemed like they might have some games there.
And that's like, this goes back to that kind of like the weird, the fact that people are just kind of bowing out of E3 and doing their own thing. I am curious if over that weekend 2K either goes with somebody, goes with a Sony, goes with a Microsoft, and I'm sure they probably will with both, because Red Dead Redemption 2, that's going to be there to be shown off on some console. It's got to be. They've got to show it.
Publicly, I don't know. Like Rockstar doesn't have
I think this is going on stage. They are going to show something on stage gameplay wise. I'm almost certain of it.
Yeah, gameplay? I don't know about gameplay.
Dude,
they might get a trailer into the Sony thing or into the Microsoft thing.
It'll be a gameplay trailer. I'm telling you.
Oh,
there will be.
Sorry.
There
I thought
will
you
be
meant like
gameplay,
a gameplay demo or something like that.
Whether it's live or a trailer, it will be there.
Okay. I'm just saying, Rockstar doesn't typically they don't typically show a ton of stuff at E3.
No, not typically. They don't. I think Red Dead Redemption is going to be a unique situation.
Sure.
Borderlands 3 will also be interesting.
It'll be there.
Pitchford's talked about it already. We know it's happening. So
100% it's going to be there. I don't know whose stage, but it's going to be there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna guess it'll be with Sony. That's my guess, because Microsoft just seems to always take a dump on these things and screw it up. They just do. And then finally, I will be interested in seeing if CD Projekt Red does anything, lets anybody have any information, any trailers for Cyberpunk 2077.
So there's been Polish articles so far saying that it is going to be there, or there's going to be a trailer, and I guess maybe playable behind closed doors. Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, and it's only going to be single player stuff. They said that the multiplayer is not going to launch with the game, and it's not going to be E3. So
either way, man, that thing, it's going to be gorgeous.
It's going to be.
Going to go out on a limb there.
It's going to be something, man. I admit, The Witcher is not really. I have a kind of a bit of a hard time with it. Mostly because of the size of it. It's like I want to get into it, but so much other stuff. Cyberpunk 2077, if it's anything like that, I'm going to be way more into, just based on aesthetic and style.
Yeah. Totally. Friggin' absolutely.
All right, well, that's what's coming for E3. There's going to be more stuff. If you've got thoughts on it, let us know. Curious, if you think there's going to be something there, if you don't think anything's going to be there, if E3 is dead. It's a worthwhile convo. Let us know. Podcast at 0HITPOINTS.com. What games are coming out in the near future, week or so? Anything coming out that you're picking up?
Yeah, I think people are getting out of the way of E3 in kind of all aspects here. Nothing on my list anyways. I'm going to be picking up. I'll still get back into some Burnout, I'm sure. God of War, if I get the thumbs up. So yeah, we'll have something else to talk about.
I've got to finish up God of War, so I'm not expecting a whole lot of other games. Maybe a little bit more of Through the Woods. Or Into the Woods. I think Through the Woods. The game.
Both.
Beth got.
Either way, you want to go around the woods.
Yeah, it's woody.
Yes, it is.
You are my favorite deputy. So go to zerohitpoints.com. Listen to the podcast. Check out past episodes. Hit us up on Twitter at 0_H_P. Again, our email is podcast at zerohitpoints.com. Come back on Thursday For Book Club for Movies, this week we're watching The Limey. So if you haven't seen it, Steven Soderbergh's The Limey, check it out. Send us an email. Tell us what you thought. podcast@bookclubformovies.com.
Worth a watch. Well, I won't spoil anything.
Don't, but it is. And I'm excited.
It's worth checking out.
I'm excited to talk about this. And we're going to do that here in just a little bit. Until then, we'll see you next week on the Zero Hit Point Power Hour.